Hello and welcome from the Institute of Quantitative Technology. This video will go into more detail on two of Advantage's core benefits, simplicity and advanced functionality. 1. Two of Advantage's core benefits are simplicity and advanced functionality. The others are an expanding feature set, support and no substitutes. These benefits enable you to write substantially less code, increasing your strategy development speed. 2. Simplicity. For simple strategies, code is at least 66% shorter and has simpler syntax. 3. Advanced functionality. Trailing stop-losses, partial closes and scalping are much easier to implement. Code is approximately 85% shorter and again is simpler. 4. These benefits are enabled by the IQT system object in MQL4, which Advantage automatically creates for you to implement orders. It is independent of all outside actors, MT4, brokers, market participants and even the IQT cannot access this data. We will now explain the key points further, specifically. 1. Simplicity. Advantage Code Preview. Standard MQL4 Code Preview. 2. Advanced Functionality previews to the right where applicable. Trailing stop-losses and partial closes. Code Preview. Scalping and chart annotation. Code and MT4 preview. If accessing this video via the IQT website, you can click on each hyperlink to navigate to the relevant section. Advantage makes it easier to write your trading strategies. 1. Your code is shorter, you can write at least 66% less code for simple strategies. 2. Your code is simpler, you can focus on trading logic, not execution logic. E.g. the standard MQL4 implementation of a simple strategy such as moving average.mq4 by Meta Software Corp. Requires 145 lines of code. In contrast, in Advantage, traders gain a template file in which they only need to modify 49 lines of code. These are logically organized in 4 sections. Helper functions have also been defined to simplify syntax. These are explained in the IQT Advantage User Guide and on the IQT website. In more detail, the 4 sections of code which traders need to modify in Advantage are: 1. Inputs, e.g. the maximum number of concurrent trades. 2. Triggers, e.g. moving average calculations. 3. Entry conditions, e.g. buy on an upward crossover. 4. Exit and management conditions, e.g. sell on a downward crossover, trail stop-loss to break-even when trade is profitable enough. These sections are also explained in further detail in the IQT Advantage User Guide. Advantage and standard MQL4 code for a moving average crossover strategy will now be shown. This is Advantage's template file for a moving average crossover strategy. We will now scroll down to the 4 different code sections. Section 1, Inputs, is highlighted by the blue box. It is 19 lines long after excluding spaces and comments. Section 2, Triggers, is 4 lines long, and Section 3, Entry Conditions, is 12 lines long. Section 4, Exit and Management Conditions, is 14 lines long. Overall, traders only need to modify 49 lines of code. This is the standard MQL4 code for a moving average crossover strategy. Scrolling down, you can see that the program is 145 lines long. It is not logically organized as in Advantage's template. Furthermore, trading logic and execution logic are intertwined. Ideally, all traders should need to focus on is the trading logic as shown in green boxes. Unfortunately, execution logic as shown in blue boxes is needed, and is actually longer than the trading logic. Returning to Section 3 of the Advantage template, you can see that the code is simpler. Helper functions such as enter_string make the syntax clearer, and are explained both in the IQT Advantage User Guide and also in help files on the IQT website. An example of a help file for the enter_string helper function is on the right. The IQT has written these to follow the format of standard MQL4 help documentation. Advantage enables more sophisticated strategies. Trailing stop-losses and take profits, partial closes and scalping can be handled much more easily. Chart annotation is also clearer. E.g., the previews following this section show trailing stop-losses and partial closes take 22 lines of code in Advantage. Combinations of the two take 30 lines. There is no clear benchmark using standard MQL4 to compare against, but an indicative program for trailing stop-losses takes 148 lines. Partial closes and combinations take even more lines. This is because code needs to be able to distinguish among your trades, which have varying parameters, e.g. currency, and process each differently. This is handled for you by the IQT system object in Advantage. To implement a trailing stop-loss in Advantage, only Section 4 of the template needs to be modified. This results in only 22 lines of code. Actually, the stop-loss in this example trails discretely. It trails every time the trade reaches multiples of the reward-risk ratio, i.e. 0, break-even, 1, 2, etc. Without Advantage, i.e. using standard MQL4 code, an indicative program would take 148 lines of code. Moreover, the code example here only trails to break-even, it does not keep trailing discretely as in Advantage. To implement that functionality would take more lines of code. Similarly, a partial close only needs 22 lines of code, and a combination of a trailing stop-loss and a partial close needs 30 lines of code. Standard MQL4 code would be much longer than 148 lines. Advantage's IQT system object tracks all trade information on your computer, instead of relying on MT4 and the broker to track your orders on their servers. Note that the IQT does not have access to this data either, it is only within your local MQL4. As a result, trades which can be blocked by the broker, e.g. those with near stop-losses, can be implemented in Advantage, where the IQT system simply checks what the intended stop-loss should have been and closes the trade if that level is reached. This makes scalping easier, and also prevents stop hunting by other market participants. Another result is that charts can be annotated. For now, lines with customizable colors reflect whether a trade is profitable, enabling faster visual analysis, which is especially useful during backtesting and strategy development. Previews will now be shown. Advantage includes the code which sets up the IQT system object at the top of its templates, so traders do not need to keep writing this themselves. This code draws upon thousands of lines of supporting code in include and library files, so traders can focus on trading logic. The IQT system object also helps with chart annotation. Standard charting in MQL4 may not clearly convey a trade's entry and exit points, or the profitability of the trade. In this preview, Advantage highlights trade entries with black vertical lines, profitable exits with blue lines and loss-making exits with orange lines. This makes visual analysis of many trades faster and easier. The colors can be customized. It should be clear that Advantage does not replace MQL4. MT4 and MQL4 are excellent products by Meta Software Corporation. Their standard code is both comprehensive and concise, and has made it possible for traders to program their strategies across a wide variety of assets. Advantage simplifies that programming process. It makes use of standard MQL4 in its supporting code, e.g. the IQT system object, to present traders with easier-to-manage templates. Thanks for watching. Advantage and clickable videos are available at www.theiqt.com. Please like this video and subscribe to the IQT's channel on YouTube.